Bud, I'd like to introduce my friend, the Black Mamba.
Black Mamba?
This is Bud. You know, before I picked that little fella up, I looked him up on the internet. Fascinating creature, the Black Mamba.
Having proved herself to be the expert assassin that she was touted to be in Volume 1, the Black Mamba had a few more people on her list. We all know who the last person would be.
So you can just kiss my motherfucking ass, Black Mamba. Black Mamba. I should have been motherfucking Black Mamba.
Volume 2 illustrates a significant arc in the Black Mamba's character development, from murderer to mother. Volume 1 ends with the realization that the Black Mamba's daughter is alive. This realization shifts the bride from avenging her daughter to freeing her daughter.
Freeze, Mommy.
Bang, bang! Oh!
Bang, bang.
You're dead, Mommy. So, die.
Say, I'm going to write a scene, I'm going to get to the coffee cup right over here. And I'm heading him that way. And then all of a sudden, the characters make a left turn and they start going over here. Well, that's okay, because that could end up being the best stuff in the whole scene. Eventually, they'll work their way over here if they're supposed to go over here. Yeah. If they never get their way back there again, well, that was Quentin's idea, and it wasn't a good one, and they were keeping me honest.
And the characters are better than Quentin at that point.
Oh, hands down.
Throughout the film, Bill challenges the bride, saying that no matter what mask she tries to hide behind as a mother, looking for a normal life, she will always be a killer. Like how Clark Kent is just a disguise and Superman is his true identity.
When Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. His alter ego is Clark Kent.
All right, here in Kill Bill, this, like, revenge saga, 4 hours long, all right? And these big action scenes all throughout it, and horror sequences and all this stuff. And then you get to the climax and it's a 40-minute dialogue scene. That's just my way of doing an action epic.
What Kent wears, the glasses, the business suit, that's the costume. That's the costume Superman wears.
Ultimately, her greatest obstacle is the jealous fury of Bill. Having her murdered on her wedding day was about jealousy for the woman he loved.
I think that first scene between me and Uma, you have that sense of that there's a moment where time has stopped, all right? And this moment could last forever. And that's one of my favorite scenes, I think, in my entire career, is that scene at the chapel.
Are you gonna be nice?
I've never been nice my whole life. But I'll do my best to be sweet.
And so what happens is I just get the characters talking to each other, and what you're trying to do is create an environment as you're writing that Quentin isn't doing it. They're doing it. Quentin starts it off. Quentin knows the direction it's supposed to go.
It just so happens I have a solution. Ah! Gotcha!
What the fuck did you just shoot me with?
But then the characters take it over.
Emotionally, in the beginning of the movie, actually, when you see Volume 2, it gets much more complicated. But emotionally, she's almost like someone who, she had something to live for. You know, she was a killer, she got pregnant.
Karen, I just found out, right now, not a moment before you blew a hole through the door, that I'm pregnant. What is this?
She was gonna, she didn't want to be a life taker anymore, and she got killed. And they took from her the only thing that had ignited in her some compassion.
The bride's real name is Beatrix Kiddo.
Marty Katrosser?
Here.
Melanie Harhouse?
Here.
Beatrix Kiddo?
Here.
I got to sort of be inside the character as he was creating it. I got to sort of live with it for so long before we made the movie that I felt very much like I belonged in the character way in advance of shooting.
From the blonde hair, the canary yellow Bruce Lee homage, the Hattori Hanzo sword, the motorcycle, the convertible. One of the greatest strengths of Tarantino's Kill Bill is his dedication to making a thoroughly recognizable character with enough charisma to keep an audience captivated for over 4 hours.
All right, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna write it really quick. It's gonna be this down and dirty exploitation movie, 90 minutes. All right, cut to 4 years later, we are now on Kill Bill Volume 2. All right.
David Carradine played the role of Bill with an elegant malice. Tarantino had great words to say about David and how he was convinced to cast him as Bill.
Well, it's funny because I've always thought of David Carradine as like a magnificent actor. I mean, literally one of those great mad genius actors of Hollywood, with Nicholson and everything. I've kind of followed his career, and even when he does like these crappy exploitation movies, not all of them are crappy, by the way, but when he does them, he's always delivering the goods. He's got that great old pro quality, and he's got that, whatever.
When Bill allows Beatrix to lay down with her daughter before she falls asleep, they watch a film called Shogun Assassin.
Which one do you want to watch?
Shogun Assassin.
No, BB. Shogun Assassin is too long.
No, it's not.
In the beginning of the film, a child speaks of their father, who is one of the most ferocious and feared assassins. Of course, the parallels are lying right there on the bed, but it further sets the tone.
It's like, I pretty much figured by the time we got to the end of the movie she'd kill Bill.
Right.
But exactly what their conversation would be, I didn't know. Exactly what they would say once they got to each other, I didn't know. And I wouldn't know until I'd gone on that 1.5-year journey of getting the bride to there.
Bill later tells a chilling story about their daughter Bibi having killed a fish by stepping on it. He tells Beatrix that their daughter learned about life, death, and that some things cannot be undone. Bill says he could relate. The last chapter of the film is titled Face to Face. It's a reference to the 1962 Western of the same name. Once lovers, the two assassins glare at each other with hatred, but also with glimmers of love. Beatrix tells Bill that she would have done anything for him, including die for him. But her life was not her own since their daughter was born. The intimacy of the final fight makes it a big contrast to the showdown with Oren Ishii in Volume 1, although the battle ends in a similar fashion. In Volume 1, the Black Mamba kills Oren with the Hattori Hanzo sword that she has earned and wields with mastery. In Volume 2, the Black Mamba kills Bill with a single bare hand. As you look back over the film, it's clear that the main weapon that she has been developing from training with Pai Mei and punching through a coffin is her hands.
The 5-point exploding heart technique. Where did you pick that up?
That is like, I came up with the expression and the phrase and everything, but that is this technique that in this one movie that the character Pai Mei, all right, that Gordon Liu plays, and this was a movie starring Gordon Liu, but he was the good guy as a young man, but the evil guy was Pai Mei. And that was a technique that Pai Mei used. I didn't have a name. I gave it the name, all right? But that was the thing. You do the technique, and then people would walk 5 steps, and they die.
Her sword and her hands are all she needs to vanquish her foes. What defines Beatrix, the bride, or the Black Mamba, however you want to call her, is the fact that her daughter lives.
I felt that my job was to stay incredibly centered in the middle of his kind of cinematic genius mad creation and bring the humanity to the character. I mean, it's quite simple.